Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the segment on this channel where I give you a lot of heated rants, and just hot-headed debates and stuff that make me angry, the good old WTD question mark on my channel, the longest running series on this damn channel with no signs of stopping, over 100 videos at this point, and today is going to be one of those that will not really do much for the list, because if I have 130 videos right now, it's gonna stay at 130, in the damage, because I'm going to be remaking an old video that I did some time ago, but I didn't really like the way that I recorded videos at the time. Everything was just way too cringy and I was not a fan. And so today I'm going to be redoing it, and give you guys a little bit more detailed info, and also with my new background, my new way of editing and recording and stuff, I don't think that's in the right order. My new way of recording and then editing, yeah, there we go. So possibly a new thumbnail as well will debut, it's gonna be quite something. Anyway, guys, now the very last video that I posted here on my channel was this one here, related to FIFA 22, called Miserable Misses Bundesliga, right? So basically it was a little compilation of my missed attempts at trying to score goals in FIFA 22, throughout my many playing sessions with the German teams. And after recording that video, while I was not only playing, and missing putting the things together, but also editing the video, it started to sort of seep this inner rage inside of me, the unsettling anger that you feel when you're playing a game like FIFA and you miss a goal, especially if it's an important one, that you actually need to win the game. It angers you in a video game, it angers you in real life, it angers you especially if you're a player doing it, so it kind of inspired me to revisit this topic and re-record another video. I'm even wearing the same shirt, My last video was also a remake talking about the FIFA World Cup stuff, so I always wear the same shirts. Now, here's the thing. When you're playing a game that causes you a lot of rage, like for example FIFA, when you miss a goal, it is normal for you to allow yourself a moment of fleeting rage in that moment there that really frustrates you and might make you act on impulse and do something that you regret like a millisecond later. And when it comes to gamers, one of the things that we most do involving this here is breaking our controllers. Now, mind you, I am aware that, oh boy, how can I structure this sentence? I am aware that, anger management is something that could help a lot of people be healthier in life, with their rage and controlling themselves. And I unfortunately am a very angry person. I do admit that I'm not very impatient. In my line of work as a teacher, or even here as a YouTuber, I am very patient. I will teach my kids for hours and hours if they need an explanation. I will record and edit many hours of video so I can keep my channel going. I'm a very patient worker and an artist, but as an actual person, no. I'm the kind of person who gets pissed if Netflix takes, I don't know, a minute more to render my movie or TV show, If it says that it's 0% charging and getting up, 50%, 75%, 99%, I get pissed, man. I get really angry. I get angry when I'm down at the center, at the bus stop, waiting for the bus to come. I start to get fidgety, I get really pissed. And, I'm just not a very patient person by nature, and I am very, very rageful, let's say, if that expression even exists. And when it comes to games, there's a reason why I don't play very hard games or rage games, which are games that are intentionally made to be challenging, because I know that I'm gonna rage and I know that my reflexes are gonna kick in. And as was the case many times in my youth, I know that there is a very good chance I'm gonna take my controller and chuck it across the room. The very first incident of this happening was back when I was a teenager and I had my Xbox 360. No other gaming console that I had prior to that, had controllers that suffered grisly fates, involving throwing and slamming, You can watch my video here talking about the significance of gaming to me, where I talked about all of the consoles that I've had before and stuff, the games that I played, a little unrelated to this, but sort of kind of the same, if you want to just watch that later. So maybe I'll leave it at the outro screen when the video ends. But so when I had my 360, I began to play games that made me feel much more angry, and my first Xbox 360 controller, man, that thing looked like a freaking monster. It was like the victim of years of abuse, because there was a part of it that was actually completely chipped away. One of the handles that you hold, you know, it was completely chipped, full of bite marks, because whenever I played a fighting game or any other game on a hard difficulty, you know, I would slam the controller on my bedside, you know, which was wood, very hard carved wood, you know. I would bite it, you know, and just tear off chunks and stuff, you know. I don't think I ever threw it against the wall or the floor because it would have shattered, you know. But you know, my mom even noticed, but apparently never said anything, you know. She just kind of grabbed, she always assumed that maybe it was through many years of use, you know, so she wrapped duct tape around it for me. But before that happened, bro, you could see the insides of it, man. It was a macabre visual. You could see the little inside of the console, and whenever it vibrated, you could see the little fidget spinning inside of it, you know. It was really crazy. I saw the innards of that thing, and to this day I have no idea how the hell it still worked, man. It made no damn sense how that thing was still operational. My other controller was just fine, but this one sucked. Many years later, when I came to Brazil and still had my PS2 because my 360 broke, you know, same thing. I had to buy multiple PS2 controllers because I kept freaking slamming them down and breaking them whenever I played a frustrating game, you know. And it sucked because today I'm an adult, you know, I live by myself, I work, I pay my own bills, so I am aware that a controller is a very, very expensive investment, you know. I have two. My Xbox One originally came with one, so I had to buy a second one, you know, individually, and it took me years to do that because it was pricey, you know. I'm not, it's crazy, man, you know. Just to give you guys an idea, the controller that I bought, my individual Xbox One S controller, cost me here where I live 250 Brazilian reais. Yeah, and I paid it all in one. If I'm not mistaken, did I pay installments? I don't think I did. I actually think I bought it all in one go, but no, I probably paid installments. But anyway, the point is, I don't know how much that is in dollars, but convert that right now wherever you live, and that's how much it costs, you know. Of course, when I bought it, I actually had a lot of money saved up, you know, and now I already finished paying it off, so it's mine. But just to give you an idea, man, it's not easy, you know. And the thing is that I rarely use my second controller because my friends barely ever come over because they don't have time, and I never really have time to play games with friends, you know. But it's actually very useful because sometimes I need to get an achievement in a game that involves co-op, and I can do it with the second controller, you know. And on the occasion that a buddy comes over, you know, we can play video games together. So it's always good to have two controllers, with whatever console you have. And I will never break these because I know how expensive they are, you know. But like, this is actually why I don't play rage games, or I never try a game on a harder difficulty. And even when I start to get angry, I just stop, you know. I take a breath, you know. I come back in maybe like an hour or two, you know. Like sometimes when I'm playing a very hard game, like Cuphead was just like this, you know. I beat that game, and it took me much longer to beat that game than it should have because I kept stopping for a day or two and then coming back, you know, because that's how you gotta do it with hard games, man. I have no idea how the hell my controllers endured me playing Cuphead, you know, and Space Jam Legacy as well. That was crazy. But if you're a gamer out there, bro, I know you understand me. I know that you understand me, you know. Yes, we are aware that controllers are expensive and we have to value them, you know, technology in general, but I know you understand me. You're probably nodding your head right now as you watch this video. Yes, I've also thrown many controllers, you know. Maybe you never bit them the way that I was, because, you know, my Mike Tyson phase was a little meh, you know. Sometimes today when I get angry, I'll just bite myself, you know, in my hands. Yeah, well, you guys weren't supposed to hear that. It's just sort of slipped out. I can edit that out, right? Yeah, I can fix it in post. Yeah, what am I worried about? Who bites themselves? You bite yourself. But anyway, so look, guys, the human mind is a very complex place. You know, people are very intricately woven creatures when it comes to the emotional spectrum, you know, and that is a very fancy way of saying that people are crazy sometimes, you know. But gamers, man, we are a special bunch because we go through situations and feel emotions that non-gamers never will, you know, because we are just regular people who work normal everyday jobs, you know. But when we come home and play games, you know, we are transported to different worlds, going through perilous journeys that would be very hard to explain to a non-gamer, you know. So we feel a much much broader range of emotions than regular people who don't play games, you know? So it's just crazy, you know? Like, I have cried during games, you know, during moments that I haven't cried in real life. Like, sometimes a certain family member might pass away, you know, in real life, and I'm like, okay, that's normal, people die, whatever. But in the game, if a character that I really like dies, you know, it just kills me on the inside, you know, and I start tearing up. But that's just how games are, man, you know? So it's crazy. So maybe that's why it's so much easier for us to lose control of our emotions and sometimes chuck a controller across the room or something, you know? And it's one of those things that we instantly regret, you know? And luckily, I have not faced a lot of collateral damage recently, you know, when we were playing hard games or stuff, you know, because games will stress you out. I personally try to avoid it by playing games on always like the easy or the normal difficulty settings, you know. I never try to go into medium or hard. Sometimes I will like a challenge, you know, maybe I'll want to get the blood pumping or try to unlock some achievements that I'm missing, you know, but it's very rare for that to happen. It is very rare, you know, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels very wrong, but at the same time justifiable for us to get angry and break things, you know. But that's just how it is. People who excessively play games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, you know, and all those crazy hard games, I mean, they're bound to break something eventually, if not themselves at one point, you know. So yeah, I really admire you people who have this desire to play hard games. I recorded a video talking about this some time ago, you know, debating whether games should be hard or not. That's up to you to watch and decide later, you know, formulate your own opinion there. But I personally think that some of them are overkill. But that is why gamers usually break their control. It's not because we hate the controllers or the consoles or the PC, whatever. The controller itself did nothing to us, you know. It's the experience coupled with our anger that makes us act on impulse and break whatever is in our hands, you know. Sometimes I have to put the controller down so I literally don't break, but in compensation I have torn up a few shirts, you know, going through this, you know. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. One time I was eating an apple, I think, and I bit my tongue and I started bleeding, you know, because I was just chewing so angrily. That's how it is. That's what it means to be a gamer. So it's not, I'm pretty sure that many of you gamers out there have like a museum, you know, in your head, of course, like a mental museum of all the controllers that you've broken, you know, just sitting there on display somewhere in the confines of your mind. So yeah, bro, freaking crazy. I don't know. But I'm curious to hear your guys' stories, you know. Let me know in the comments below if you have ever broken any controllers and for what reason, what games you were playing that made you, you know, chuck it across the room, how you broke it, if you threw it, if you bit it, if you broke it, stepped on it, sat on it, you know, if you threw it against your TV or your dresser or whatever. Let me know, because I'm legitimately curious, because I know that I'm not alone on this. I know that many of you have broken controllers. I just want to know how. Let's kind of turn this into like almost like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing, you know. Broken Controllers Anonymous, where we just talk about, you know, yes, my name is Chazzy and I have broken controllers before the first time, this and that. Let's have a little debate in the comments below about that. And in the meantime, if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, might as well hit the notification bell as well, so you can know exactly what time I upload. And that's it, guys. That is it. Hopefully I can assure you guys no controllers were harmed in the making of this video. That's it for now, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the unbroken outro screen.